Okay, here we go again. So yeah, had some trouble hitting load apparently. So you saw the title screen. It's kind of neat, I guess, for you to see the title screen. And yeah, where we left it before, I had assembled a team, but I'd had to do some grinding. So I went and I then traded the Spearow for the Farfetch, which is not called Ducks in this version. It's called Chiding, which I don't really understand. It kind of is a duck. So like Ducks was like a kind of nickname I would give it, but like, yeah, don't know what the fuck Chiding's about, but there you go. But yeah, I realised, oh, hang on, shit, I should have put that on camera, really. New person joining the team, so that's when I stopped training and started the new part. I realised there's quite a lot of trainers left on the way to Surgeon stuff, so I could use them for levelling up, especially with Mew, who's tough enough. It's like Ed Miliband tough enough, you know? But yeah, that's a deep cut if you're not English. This. But yes, here we go. I've tried to make pasta. I tried to make a pumpkin pasta sauce today and got really far with the recipe, cooked all the shit, and then realised I don't have a blender here in this place. So, and there's a lockdown here in Portugal, so I wasn't able to buy a blender. And then I was looking on Facebook Marketplace, and then I was just like, you know what, fuck it. Apparently that cooked ingredients will keep in the fridge. And so, yeah, I just went back to narrating my Pokemon adventure instead. So, bit of a fail son day today, but there you go. I've got work later. So yeah, here we go. Let's smash this guy. So the tragic thing is, while I was grinding, Dave the cat died, which is brutal. The Pokemon Dave the cat, not the real one. I assume he's still okay. But like, yeah. So here we go. And immediately poisoned, which is fucking irritating because poison's fucking irritating. So I guess we'll switch to Meeks. So yeah, I was torn because of the difficulty in the rival battle was about just, okay, everyone can get to his highest level because he doesn't have the death penalty like we do. But for gym leaders, I think I might retain the original try and match their leveling or something thing, because gym leaders are easier because they are all one type, right? So you can effectively lead in your strongest of that type and potentially sweep their team, whereas with the rival you cannot do that. Yeah, I'm already thinking ahead to the Elite Four, which is presumptuous because it's far away. But I kind of feel like, yeah, you know, the trouble with the Elite Four is I keep thinking about the Bruno's easy. You know, you got flying and like for the fighters and like or psychic, and then the rock guys usually can be knocked out pretty easy. I'm going to save up all my ethers and things like that for the PP revives and extensions for the final Elite Four. But yeah, I'm actually worried about L'Oreali or whatever. Agathas are actually quite easy with psychic, but water ice is a weird combo because you can't fire the ice, and I know they're just generally quite tough. I guess I always used to try and use Pikachu in yellow and he would always get beaten up, so maybe that's like souring my perception. But the grass is problematic because you use a Grassmon and the saying Meowth makes me sad. But using a Grassmon, you know, if it gets hit with an Ice Beam or something, you're fucked. And then you've got 5 Pokemon for the entire rest, you know. So I guess you need electric. But electric Pokemon generally aren't that tanky, so ice is a problem. And then I guess you could have like a Magneton, which is like half steel, but I'm not sure if they're resistant to ice or weak to it. I think they're resistant or not weak, and they're not weak to fire. So maybe I could get like a Magneton, but that's reliant on a Magnemite or something appearing. So here we go. I figured I'd have to fight. So yeah, I already beat that one guy at the bottom because that's how I got into the city. So we can now cure that poison. I'm kind of thinking, because Chiding has got a long ass way to go until he's level 40 something or whatever and gets false swipe. Having him in the party is actually just a risk that he dies, so maybe I should have put him in the daycare or later. but we'll see. So there's this whole area. Should be 2 more Pokemon to get. One here and one in Diglett Cave. It's a shame we never did catch the Abra, because we could have traded it for a Mr. Mime if we wanted. But then Kadabra and Alakazam are probably better than Mr. Mime, so... But theoretically I could have traded an Abra and then caught Kadabra or Mr. Mime somewhere, Kadabra or whatever somewhere else, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't want to kill it with Vine Whip. Although I probably could have took one, given that Bellsprout's not too OP. Oh yeah, so the point of that rambling story about my failure to make the pumpkin sauce is that that was also going to be what I then made dinner with, so I've then just got pissed off and caved all the shops except the corner shops being shut, and I've bought a load of bread and peanut butter and just had like half a loaf of peanut butter sandwiches, and I don't feel good for it. I don't eat that sort of thing with white bread especially, it's not good for you. But like, there you go. Keep wrapping this up. And we have a new team member. I always think Sandshrew reminds me of the English name Andrew, so... but then trouble is every variant is like... I was thinking Sandy, like Andy, and Sandy's a name as well, but then it's just like, well, you just called it that because it's got sand in the name. It's like... And I kind of can't flip-flop on what level of... I always feel like a nickname has to be like more than one step removed from its original name, otherwise you're just being unoriginal. I always used to fucking hate, do you remember on Pokemon Stadium 1, where the nicknames were just bullshit? They were like I swear to God, they were like, if it was like Venusaur, their one would be called like Sorven with a dash, and it's like, what the fuck? That's not a name, you know? Like, that's not a nickname. You can't just like Zardchar, what the fuck, you know? It's so irritating. I used to hate it because it's like, just don't bother doing it. Just make it like nicknames are rare, you know? Like how surnames are rare in the Dragon Ball world. Like, make nicknames for Pokemon rare in the Pokemon world. But it bugged me. That was weird actually, because a lot of the Pokemon trainers did use nicknames, at least early on in the Pokemon like anime and movies, especially if it was like a Pokemon that like Ash had. So if he like meets another Pikachu, of course the other one's got a name, so it's kind of, so you could tell the difference. But it just had the effect of making Ash look really unimaginative that he didn't give them names. Like, that Pikachu's just called Pikachu. His best friend, his pet, just calls it Pikachu. It's weird to me. Like, those dudes in the first Pokemon movie had it. That was a really good ass ROM hack actually. They did this Ash Grey, which was literally like the anime, the games, but you had a bit more freedom. You didn't have to like box your good Pokemon and get the shit ones that he did, or release them when he did and things like that. And I think you could catch others too. But yeah, you could even win the Pokemon League when he lost and things like that. And I think you could even catch some of the clone Pokemon on Mewtwo's Island and things like that, which was cool. Yeah, you know, Dig Dug. Dug's a name. And then you could always like call Dugtree. You could rename him like Douglas's, like plural. It'd be kind of funny. But yeah, there's time to get to the end of the tunnel another time. Not a lot of traffic noise today, which is cool. That's handy. Yeah, I'd love to see like an actual like. I know people like there's now like a backlash against gritty and grimdark settings and stuff, but like I think they're fine as long as long as they run parallel to it's not just everything's that. Like I'd love to see like a fucking gritty Pokemon, like either ROM hack or even anime or something. Like Origins almost did it, but just like I don't know if the world was like corrupt and tyrannical and you were like freedom fighters, but with these monsters, like, it'd be pretty cool. Because yeah, if you owned like the company that makes the Pokeballs, you would have like such a monopoly on. If you had some healing technology, you could. I don't understand why no one's just grinded their Pokemon up to level 100. I don't really get how it works. Especially with like the time jumps, like it doesn't take that long for you to get to level 100, and yet, like, then you expect the next challenger in the next generation to like become the new best trainer. It's like he should not be able to catch up. But we've been through this before. So yeah, this time I'm thinking about taking on Surge, and I'm sort of thinking about the birds being not so useful. But first, I want to take on the rival. I don't know if it's because his level is lower or I'm near it, or I think no, Surge is actually slightly higher than the rival's highest. So yeah, I want to take him on first because then we can level a bit more to take on Surge. But in hindsight, the level difference is not significant in difficulty. I should really be. Could have made an argument I should have gone straight in. Now I've got 2 ground types and stuff. But yeah, the weird thing about the SSN is you sort of beat the rival, but then once you get cut, the boat goes. So if you ever want to beat all the trainers, you kind of have to do it before that. So even though I don't want to over level, I kind of need to do everything on the SSN at once because otherwise I'll lose the ability. So it's finally time to be less stingy with TMs. Secret Power and Dig are so good though that I'm scared of using them and then having someone die. But then they're less likely to die if I've got good moves, so it's that age-old conflict. Push the boat out and have a tangerine, at least I get some vitamins today. I feel like I've got reasonable Pokemon themselves, just not a good balance on the team with the 2 grasses and the 2 birds, but hopefully that will change soon enough. It's not a fire Pokemon yet, or an electric one really, but I guess I can get at least one of those from the Eevee. You can't get the legendary dogs until the post game on Fire Red. I assume that hasn't changed here. Trying to think where else there's fire. I guess you got loads in the mansion. But that's a ways off. I don't think you get any fire ones at the Safari Zone. So I might be able to run across a Vulpix or a Growlithe or something perhaps. Just worried I'm going to get like a bloody Weeping Bell before a Vulpix or something and not want it. But technically it's a new Pokemon. I guess I could level up my Bellsprout to make sure. Trouble is I don't really want to use too many guides because that's a bit cheaty. Even though most people who play any Nuzlocke already know everything about the game they're Nuzlocking. I haven't played Fire Red for a long time, even though it's basically like Red and Blue. But yeah, it's also with this Ultraviolet thing, there's some differences. But yeah, I guess it is time for that rival battle. Whatever weird level spread I've got is somehow related to what he's got. It's weird how tiny that boat is. They should have made the graphic way larger, but then I guess it'd be like... No, boats, ferries, cruise ships are way larger than houses. It'd be weird if it's larger than a house, but it should be. I can hear the music in my head, which is weird. You know, that rival theme thing. He comes onto the screen. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but obviously he's such a dick to you that in these games that like, and in a way that rivals and late games aren't. But it's weird because when you're young, you actually get riled by it. You're like, fuck this guy, and that's why people kind of name him dickhead and arseface and stuff. But like, actually, as you get older, you just, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but when he talks shit, you're just like, oh, come on, dude, you don't need to do that. Just chill, you know? Like, I get annoyed by shit. Like, and I can't boast about being mature in that way because I'm still playing a game made for 10-year-olds, but so he's actually not too bad here. He's not too much of an arsehole. Okay, here we go. Much lower level, but I have a relevant move and Mew is exceptionally tough. Speed fell, which is great, but sadly it missing the second one didn't allow us to capitalise on it. Really wish we'd got it. I should have gone for pound then. Now we're a lot more wounded, it's tougher. But a bit of level up gives us a bit more HP, which is cool. Now shit. See. I wanted to protect Mika from the Hyper Fang, but he probably could have took it. Because now someone's going to get sacrificed. I'm unlucky he had both, although really I should have known. But I think we don't get a disadvantage now. At least not as much of one if one dies and we switch in versus if we switch manually. Really I should be sending... yeah. See, Tail Whip is like, okay, good, he didn't Hyper Fang me, but it makes me worried he'll then be able to kill me with a Hyper Fang, you know? He's still asleep, that's good. I think it lasts 2 to 5 turns, but I'm not sure. I think you can wake up straight away. But switching him out gets rid of the Tail Whip. But really, if I'd sent Mika out, he would have benefited from the Leech Seed, whereas Douglas doesn't. And now he's weaker. But yeah, I figured we avoid the attacks with Dig, which is good. See, we're still not wounded, so we're not really benefiting from that Leech Seed. Unfortunately, we get a good hit, but Diglett's HP is famously low, and I knew that. I fucking knew that. And now I've lost one of my 2 guys who's supposed to be helpful against Surge. But my hope here is Joey's quick attack can outspeed him, especially now he's Leech Seeded down. So good, we got rid of the Hyper Fang guy, so what else has he got for us? See, Thief is a dark move, so I'm thinking that's good. Luckily he disables quick attack and not Thief, which has, well, potentially is good. I'd like to finish him off with a quick attack if I could, but he hits us so hard. But we could get critted. I don't want to lose my shiny Pidgey, but he's got over half health. I probably should take the risk. Quick attack. If only quick attack wasn't disabled. See, I wouldn't have took that hit, and then I could have stayed in. See, now I'm going to have to switch. And he's got no use of Saber at the end, so if he's got 2 Pokemon left, oh, his Pokemon he's got left is going to be good. I'm not disabled anymore, but that no longer helps. Everyone's wounded and there's no Leech Seed in play. Except for my weakest guy, who's not a rock, so I mean he's not resistant to fire like I kind of thought he might be. He doesn't have any good moves, which I didn't check before. So I've just sent another guy to his death. This is a problem. This is a big problem. I mean, that's huge casualties and all our 3 newest guys. Because of my carelessness and bad choices. And we missed the sleep powder. We had 1 critical ember away from death. Horrible. And I thought I used tackle there, but luckily I did use the seed. But yeah, that's not enough health to resist an ember. We got to get him the fuck out of there. But yeah, at least whoever comes out will benefit from the Leech Seed. And he wakes up, which is exactly what we didn't want to happen. Luckily, Mika's stats are tanky. He was obviously trying to finish off Seedling with that. He'll probably switch back to Ember now. But again, I think Rock Tomb is super effective. It is. And he's slower. But unfortunately not slow enough to give us a second move. Taking hits, but we did it. But serious casualties, and casualties specific to Surge. I really should have taken Surge first and used those two guys. That was a huge mistake, I think. I think I overrated Surge in relation to him. I was just thinking purely in terms of matching levels, but... See, these games really aren't made for a Nuzlocke, because if he just killed 3 of your pets, there would no way he'd be, even an arsehole would be that nonchalant. If anything, he'd brag about it, but like... Yeah, I'm standing there in shock, like, fuck. Just lost 3 guys, and what I'm thinking is this bodes not well for the rest of the game, because... I'm thinking, where am I going to get new Pokemon anytime soon? I've already gone ahead to Diglett Cave in that other area. And yeah, I don't want to get cut, because the boat will go. So that's a problem. Huge problem. But thinking about it... Yeah, see, we can't get any new Pokemon because the old rod won't catch any. We've got them in every area so far. Getting Magikarp or Gyarados out is not going to help against Surge. I think Gyarados is flying water, so that's like extra useless. Couldn't be the worst Pokemon to bring. That's why Pikachu can actually take out Lance's Gyarados, even though it's a Pikachu, because, you know, it's just that effective. I mean, a Dugtrio, you know, with Earthquake or something would be a really good Pokemon. It's really fast. Can outspeed a lot of people. Dig away from 2-turn attacks. Now we've only got the 1 TM of Dig. I don't think anyone else learns Dig naturally, except the Diglett line. Disappointing. I see Dave is in there with the rest. So we got 3 spaces. Yeah, I've got to get someone out, so... All those good Pokemon in there. Nice type spread. And yeah, although Jidding is the wrong type, I'm probably going to use him more in some capacity than that Jigglypuff, realistically. Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff are boring. I don't think Party Pokemon, the pop-up, works on this ROM hack. I think it's broken. But yeah. So I got to grind out the trainers on the SS Anne, I believe. But there's also some trainers here. Which in hindsight I should have started on the SS Anne, but there you go. Can't remember which ones I've taken on or not. Oddish to remind us of our sins and failings. So yeah, I'm going to start, there's a part coming up where I zoom the speed because it's a long part. It was to get the file size down as well. But I think that's actually the best way to do it, because if I can only, you know, if I half this time, I only have to say half as much, and theoretically I can choose the top half of the most interesting shit I've got to say, and it will make better content. Still not found any items here. I feel like you actually need the item finder, which is annoying. You think you should be able to find them by luck, but there you go. But yeah, I also realised that I haven't got Misty's badge yet, I believe, and so she's lower than Surge's, so by beating her we free up our Pokemon to be higher levels. And I've got some pretty high grass guys as well as a Mew, so I think it's time to just do an all-out attack on her, frankly. It's the thought process. At least if someone else dies, it's all got out of the way in one part. Yeah, so they in the generations thing they say that no one's gathered all the badges for a while, which makes me wonder about those trainers that are on Victory Road, because you can only get to that part of Victory Road if you've gone through the guys who request your badges. And some of them don't look like they have Pokemon that would be good enough. So either they got their badges ages ago and have never tried the Elite Four, or they tried and failed ages ago and are training again for a rematch. But or they snuck in there. But it did make me wonder about them, like what are those guys doing there for so long? Are they living there? You know, it's all a bit weird. Must have a good supply of escape ropes, the ones that don't have fly. So yeah, it seems like we pretty easily got this unless it busts out an Ice Beam suddenly and gets a crit. Not even got us into the yellow. So yeah, this really shows the disparity between the rival battle and the everything else. But yeah, the idea of strategically letting people faint in a non-Nuzlocke, going, oh, it sucks, but yeah, you get one more hit and then the other guy doesn't suffer as much. You just cannot do that in a Nuzlocke. It really does limit you, along with the shift and set makes it so much harder. As I said on the subreddit, that you really should be able to change your Pokemon but not know who they're going to send out. That would be a fair... There's no reason you can't withdraw yours as quick as they send out a new guy. But it is an unfair advantage to know what they're sending out. There should be something between shift and set. So I believe that's every trainer north of, well, this side of the underground tunnel, but without going through the cut bush area. I think there's one trainer you can get to outside Cerulean Cave with Surf, but we don't have that yet. Go check up on Magic. He was 5, so it's now 15, so he knows Tackle, which is neat, but he's not quite ready to go yet. Because yeah, you sort of normally you think, there's no point, if I don't need 5 Pokemon to beat Surge, if I only need 5 Pokemon or don't need 6, then I could have a Pokemon that's not the right type, like Gyarados, because otherwise I'm going to level up 6 now and then dump 1 for Gyarados, and it's a waste of time. But ironically, in this one, we're actually the opposite, because we need to, yeah, you know, we actually have too many trainers to beat, and we're not allowed to have too many levels on our best Pokemon. So ironically, leveling a 6th guy does actually help diffuse that experience a bit, but you still get the benefit, the money, and the actual combat experience and stuff. And it does mean if someone dies later, your substitute guy is a bit more trained up, which is handy. So yeah, I realised kind of the same logic as that Gyarados situation, that you know, am I really going to need a Paras to beat Surge? Plus that Zubat's vulnerable anyway as well, so I've already got like a ton of vulnerabilities. But yeah, it's time to clear out the SSN. So Zuzu's the lowest. I actually don't mind Zubat and Golbat, they're pretty solid. Confuse Ray is a good move. Weirdly, their like signature move as a vampire bat's Leech Life is a bug move, so they don't get the same type of advantage. It's a weak move anyway. And it's good against psychic types, but because Zubat's poison, he's weak against psychic types. So like the one person you'd want to use it on, it's not really viable. So he's kind of a, like, what's he for? But I guess, you know, a high level gold bat with Confused Ray is still a pretty potent Pokemon, but it takes a while to get there. Again, nervous about Hyper Fang. He misses. Really don't like Hyper Fang in Nuzlocke, so they should nerf it. There should be a hack where it nerfs that. Glass Cannons have a, for the Venomy on a Nuzlocke, have a differential advantage that they wouldn't have in the base game. It's not balanced for it. Doing lucky with the accuracy today. Oh, I wish I had an electric type. Double team is so fucking irritating. What worries me is he's going to double team until he's unhittable, tail whip me until I'm weak, and then like slam and kill me. Don't trust the fucker. Yeah, none of us have like TM Swift yet, which is annoying. I feel like you got that around this point in the game on Classic, but obviously not in Fire Red. I still got to shave today. Ugh, don't want to go to work. I need to accomplish at least one thing other than my job. I've done 2 recordings today. Because if I don't film another 3 parts, I'll stay ahead. I won't, you know, I'll be nearly ahead again, whereas I really want to catch up. I found out that my program that combines the audio and the video does convert MP4 anyway, so I don't need to like be doing another one online, like conversion. It's redundant. So that should save me some time in the process. Come on, learn that Rock Tomb. This Pikachu is insanely trollish. But at least we've landed Leech Seed, so trolls actually just slowly get themselves killed when they faff about like that. I'm trying to remember if Leech Seed actually scales in any way. Trouble is Pokemon become so good at being glass cannons when they're higher level with these powerful moves that Leech Seed does sort of fall behind the wayside. I used to replace it with Mega Drain, but actually that's not a great move. Because Leech Seed is good like paired with something else, or for finishing them off, or you know, when you fly you get an extra hit, or dig. But yeah, you know, should be an easy win for the bird twice, and yet we've had someone, each time we've had some bad luck or some status effect fuck it up. He looks, I would think he looks so half-fetched, looks nervous from its sprite, like that with his eye. As Joey looks like he's going to fuck some shit up till he falls asleep. Yeah, what a mission these 2 trainers are, both huge trolls. And he's down, finally. Elijah, that's quite a fancy name for... That's weird that he asks you that, am I bad or am I Pokemon weak? It's like, either way, that's really rude. Like, you probably wouldn't answer that question the way he wants you to. we're healed up. Okay, so next time we're going to take on the boat, try and knock it all out in one go.